I'm Marla Maples, and you're watching A Braveheart View.
I'm Suzanne Senna, and you're watching A Braveheart View.
I'm Rolanda Watts, and you're watching A Braveheart View.
I'm Ellie Drake, and you're watching A Braveheart View. Hello and welcome to A Braveheart View. Ready to get inspired in only 10 minutes? Your hosts today are Rolanda Watts, actress and host of the TV series Rolanda; Suzanne Senna, TV host and the former news anchor of the Fox News Channel; Marla Maples, actress, TV host, and humanitarian. I'm Ellie Drake, the founder of Braveheart Women. Why are some people successful? Of course, as we know, success is a whole recipe. Ingredients such as purpose, passion, action, service are all required. But is it possible that one of those ingredients is also failure? Could it be that successful people have failed more than unsuccessful people?
Many times.
Many times.
Well, I don't think it's about, failing. I think it's how you deal with the failure.
Absolutely.
And I think there are some signs in successful people that when they fail, it inspires them, further. It makes them want to go out and try again and not be kept down. The difference is it's like a knockout in a ring. Do you stay down or do you get back up?
So it's how you perceive what may be called failure. I don't like the word. I never use the word. I look at everything as an opportunity.
That's right.
Whatever that challenge is, it's an opportunity.
A temporary setback.
And maybe it's just pointing you in the direction you really need to be. How about that?
Yeah. Sometimes a failure is the greatest thing that can happen to you. It's maybe because your heart wasn't really into it. Maybe because there was a better path for you. I think it's a real character building thing to have failure. But nothing beats failure like a try. And I think that just not being afraid to fail and being ready for adversity is what really makes you value what it is that you succeed in.
Yeah. I like that.
I mean, I'm okay with the word. Not because I like it, the word, but I'm so used to it. I'm used to the word. I really, no, I have to say. And I think that, I know that, humbly said, I am willing to fail more times in 1 year than most people are willing to fail in a lifetime.
Well, you said it, being willing to fail.
That makes
so
me
what?
happy.
You try it.
Well, what is this fear of failure? Why do people have a fear of failure?
Perfectionism, it's scary. A lot of us are born with the thought that we have to be really great at something before we step forward.
Or we're concerned what others are going to say.
Because we're afraid what we're going to say too. Or it could be something from our growing up, depending on where we were raised and what the expectation levels were.
Again, it is how you perceive things. I mean, somebody asked me recently about a project I was doing. They said something like, the success or failure of this is going to depend on such and such. And I said, to me, it's not an issue of failure or success. It is going to succeed, but to what level will it succeed? And maybe you're just trying something new and it doesn't work out the way you thought, so you reevaluate and start again.
Or
but you put your heart forward.
Maybe it's just time to move on to something else.
But at least you gave it your all. I mean, I think that's it, stepping forward and believing, you're here at this moment with this purpose, so step in it, and if it doesn't work, then let it take you where it needs to take you.
Because the biggest failure is not trying.
I
And not being willing, like you said, not being willing to fail.
Yeah.
But I think how you started this makes you really think. Now, is it a key ingredient? Are the truly successful people, if you put 10 successful people in a room together, wouldn't you think that most of them would have stories of failure?
I have never seen a successful person in my own field of speaking and so forth. I've never seen a successful speaker, a coach, an entrepreneur who has not failed miserably, at least several times. I mean, in the past several years, I've been in so much credit card, so many different times, credit card debt, that is, so many different times. I mean, one time it was $150,000, and believe me, it's not because I bought shoes.
Yeah, credit card.
No.
What did you buy? A condo?
No, it's because I was investing, like we were talking about in a previous show, I was investing my time. I didn't have the resources, so I said, oh, great, in America, which, by the way, I love about this country, people complain about credit card companies. I think it's a blessing. Because if you were in Iran, where I was born, you cannot do anything unless you have cash. And I say, this country gives you, they let you borrow money and you have to pay interest. Stop whining.
But how do you get out of that debt's another word.
But the fact is, how do you get out of the debt is you can't expect, for me, I couldn't expect to get out of debt, in 90 days. I had to be okay with waking up and knowing that, my credit report is thicker than an essay that you write in college, so you have to accept that and be okay with it.
So some people would say that's failure. Oh my God, she's in that much debt. For you, it's like a path forward, and you took it and you went.
Yeah.
Well, I don't remember the specifics, but I know from reading up on this topic before, you know, you look at certain presidents, how many times did they run for an office and lose before they moved on?
But also think about the headset. I have a great group of women around me, and the headset, you know, we got it from Obama. Yes, we can. Yes, I mean, failure isn't even part of the whole formula. I mean, failure isn't even thought about. We don't even incorporate that in the things that we do.
Yeah.
So in other words, failure is not an option. A try that maybe needs a little tweaking here and there we might take, but just not to even accept failure as a way.
Because it can seem as if it's creating a bit of victimization. If you say failure, then you're just like, I'm a victim because I've not achieved something. But if you truly look at it as opportunity, don't let it get you down. Let it point you where you need to go.
Again, how you deal with it is what makes a difference.
Learn the lesson, take the lesson.
It motivates you to go further. It kind of gets you going and makes you reevaluate your plan. I wish that people would take more risks and realize that whatever path they're on may feel safe, but it doesn't maybe inspire them, or maybe they don't have a passion for something, and if they follow that sometimes, okay, maybe you fall on your face the first time, maybe the second time, maybe the 17th time, but maybe the 20th time you do it.
Yeah. You know what? You know, so I think so many times people are this close to their dream and they give up. And is that not failure also?
Yeah, absolutely.
Is giving up not failure?
I mean, imagine it's the last day of your life and you're leaving knowing that your passion and your purpose and everything is like, it's like this huge burden that you never achieved. That would be true failure. That would be. You were talking about risks, and what I found that is the reason why most people don't take risk is because they want clarity before they make true commitment. I'm going to do that if I get a universal divine guarantee package that if I do it, it's going to work out. And nothing is like that. You have to commit.
There has to be a leap of faith. There has to be faith in yourself.
Well, if you don't risk, you don't live. And life, the most wonderful things about life are the risks that we take to achieve that happiness or that passion.
But a lot of people are not comfortable with risk to a certain degree.
Yeah. And what is it? It's fear of what?
You know, some people have as much of a fear of success as they do of failure.
Mandela spoke about that,
right? Isn't that the truth?
What is that they say fear stands for? False evidence appearing real. And so a lot of it is the stuff that we have in our head, I think, and I think it's a failure not to clean that stuff up. The clutter not only in our garage and lingerie drawers, but in our heads.
But it feels good to do it in your lingerie drawers too, doesn't it? That's a start. I mean, if you really need a break, they have to go into your closet first.
Failure, trust me.
I also think it's really important that people realize what we're talking about here is that there's a perception and a reality. I think, you know, probably the people sitting at this panel, there are people watching right now saying, well, what do they know about failure? But is there one person among us who hasn't had a time where you consider, where you tried something that we've all had times where you fell flat on your face?
Mine was U.S. history and geometry.
Okay.
You know, but very, very young I learned about failing things. But I also learned that you got a second chance and you made it better. And I think a lot of those things that affected me as a kid, you know, flunking a class, believe it or not, I did. It really made me say, I'm not going to do that anymore. It just that feeling. It's like it made me come back and go to summer school, and I got an A in geometry because I said, I'm not going to let that happen. You know, so sometimes it's the one thing that really gets you to move.
What has gotten you to move after geometry?
Making money, another kind of math.
I'm sure of it. Go honey, because you're always fired up.
I'm always fired up. But you know what? I love life, and I believe life should be gulped and not sipped. And that includes taking risks and leaps of faith and not caring if you make a fool of yourself. Lord knows I've been out there doing all kinds of things that it's like, well,
okay. 40s when I decided to do it. You know, there's something that happens when you get to that age. It's like, I'm going to take chances I was afraid of, because why not?
It's always a little scary. It's always a little scary. But don't you find that when people hear about the risks you're taking, even though it sounds scary to them, there's that little bit of envy, like that little bit of, oh, I'd like to move there.
Exactly.
I'd like to try
that. And everyone
that.
can. Because most people who feel that way are tiptoeing through their life to arrive safely.
And to avoid adversity. And it's like, I wake up and I say, come on, because adversity is going to come whether you like it or not.
Exactly.
So you might as well say, come on, I'm ready for you. Hit me. You know, hit me.
Do that. You slept on floors till you were 12 years old or something.
13.
13 years old. You know what a bed felt like.
actually good for my back.
Finding the silver lining.
All right.
On our next episode, we're going to have Dr. Lillian Glass. I love this lady. She is recognized as a body language expert.
So we're going to have to watch how we're sitting when she's on.
I know. Who's lying on this panel?
Exactly right. Core Inner Circle members, also remember that you're going to have access to additional exclusive expert videos available in your Core members section.
And in the meantime, we want to get your Braveheart view. So to join in our discussion forum after the show or to watch more episodes, go to braveheartview.com.
On behalf of Rolanda, Suzanne, Marla, and myself, Ellie, thank you for failing. No, thank you for connecting, and peace in.